3 years into trading, you've read 20 books, taken 5 courses, watched hundreds of YouTube videos. You know RSI, MACD, Fibonacci, Elliott wave, price action, volume analysis, market structure. You can talk about trading for hours. You sound like an expert. But your account? Still losing money or barely breaking even. How is this possible? You've been learning for years. You know so much, yet you're no closer to consistent profitability than when you started. Here's the brutal truth. You haven't been learning. You've been collecting information, and information without application is worthless. Most traders spend years in a learning loop that produces zero progress. They mistake consuming content for building skill. They confuse knowing about trading with knowing how to trade, and they wonder why nothing changes. Let me show you exactly why your learning isn't working and what you need to do instead. The information addiction. Let's start with the obvious problem. You're addicted to learning new things. You finish one course and immediately look for the next one. You master one indicator and immediately want to learn another. You understand one strategy and immediately seek a better one. This isn't learning. This is avoidance. You're avoiding the hard work of actually trading because learning feels productive. It feels like progress. You're doing something. You're improving your knowledge. Surely this will translate to profits, right? Wrong. Knowledge doesn't equal skill. You can know everything about swimming and still drown. You can understand music theory perfectly and still play terribly. You can memorize every trading pattern and still lose money consistently because trading isn't an intellectual exercise. It's a performance skill, and performance skills require practice, not knowledge. But practice is uncomfortable. Practice means failing. Practice means confronting your weaknesses. So instead, you keep learning, you keep consuming, you keep avoiding the real work. The strategy hopping trap. Here's another reason you're not progressing. You never stick with anything long enough to master it. You learn moving averages, you try it for 2 weeks, it doesn't work immediately, so you abandon it and learn RSI. You try RSI for 2 weeks, still not profitable, you abandon it and learn price action. You try price action for 2 weeks, still losing. You abandon that and learn harmonic patterns. This cycle continues for years. You learn something new every month, you never master anything, and you wonder why you're not profitable. Here's what you're missing. Every strategy works, every single one. Moving averages work, RSI works, price action works, Fibonacci works. They all work when applied correctly with proper risk management and discipline. But they only work after you've mastered them. And mastery takes hundreds of trades. Not 2 weeks, not 10 trades, hundreds. You need to see your strategy in every market condition. Bull markets, bear markets, sideways markets, high volatility, low volatility. You need to understand its nuances, when it works best, when it fails, how to adapt. This takes months or years of focused application. But you're switching strategies every 2 weeks. You never get past surface-level understanding, so nothing works. And you blame the strategy instead of blaming your lack of commitment. The passive learning illusion. Let's talk about how you're learning. You're watching videos, reading books, taking courses, all passive consumption. You sit, you absorb, you feel like you're learning, but passive learning doesn't create skill. Active learning does. Let me illustrate the difference. Passive learning. Watch a video about support and resistance. Understand the concept intellectually. Feel like you know it. Active learning. Mark 50 support and resistance levels on historical charts. Test whether price respected those levels. Journal what you learned. Find patterns in when it works and when it fails. Passive learning. Read about position sizing. Understand the math. Nod along. Active learning. Calculate position sizes for 20 different scenarios. Practice until you can calculate instantly without thinking. Make mistakes. Correct them. Do you see the difference? Passive learning is comfortable. Active learning is work. Passive learning happens in your head. Active learning happens with your hands. Passive learning feels productive. Active learning produces results. Most traders spend 100 hours on passive learning and maybe 5 hours on active learning. Then they wonder why nothing changes. The practice deficit. Here's the core problem. You're not practicing enough. You're learning constantly, but practicing rarely. Learning tells you what to do. Practice teaches you how to do it. These are completely different things. A surgeon can read every medical textbook, but if they've never held a scalpel, they can't operate. A pilot can understand aerodynamics perfectly, but if they've never flown, they'll crash. A trader can know every pattern, but if they haven't practiced execution, they'll lose. You need reps, hundreds of them, thousands of them, marking charts, calculating risk, placing demo trades, reviewing results, journaling lessons, repeating the process. This is boring work. It's not exciting like learning a new indicator. It's not stimulating like watching a trading video. It's repetitive. It's unglamorous. It's hard. So you don't do it. You go learn something new instead, and you stay stuck. The theory versus reality gap. Here's another problem with your learning. Everything you learn is theoretical. Clean charts, perfect examples, hindsight analysis. See how this pattern formed? See how price respected this level? See how this indicator gave the signal? It all looks so clear in hindsight, so obvious in tutorials. But then you open a live chart and nothing is clear. Is this a valid support level or just noise? Is this pattern forming or am I forcing it? Is this the signal or should I wait for confirmation? Reality is messy, ambiguous, unclear, and all your theoretical learning didn't prepare you for this. You need to practice in real-time uncertainty, not perfect hindsight examples. You need to make decisions when you don't know what happens next. This is completely different from analyzing past moves where you already know the outcome. But most of your learning is backward-looking, so when you face forward-looking reality, you freeze. The knowledge doesn't transfer, and you don't understand why. The missing component, psychology. Here's what most learning completely ignores: psychology. You can learn every technical skill perfectly, but if you can't control your emotions, you'll still fail. You know you should take your stop loss, but fear makes you move it. You know you should wait for your setup, but impatience makes you force trades. You know you should cut your losers, but hope makes you hold. Your knowledge is perfect. Your execution is terrible. Why? Because you never practiced the psychological skills. You learned what to do. You never learned how to actually do it when you're scared, greedy, frustrated, or desperate. The technical learning is maybe 20% of trading. The psychological mastery is 80%. But your learning time is probably 95% technical, 5% psychological. This massive imbalance guarantees failure. The lack of feedback loops. Here's another critical problem. You're learning without feedback. You watch a video. You think you understand, but do you actually understand? You don't know. There's no test, no verification, no feedback loop. You try a strategy, it doesn't work. But why didn't it work? Was it the strategy, your execution, your risk management, your psychology, market conditions? You don't know. You have no feedback mechanism to tell you what went wrong. So you can't improve. You just move to the next thing. This is why you need a mentor, a trading journal, or at minimum, systematic review processes. You need feedback on what you're doing wrong. Without feedback, you repeat the same mistakes forever. You're not learning. You're just accumulating experience without extracting lessons. The comfort zone trap. Let's address why you keep learning instead of practicing. Learning keeps you in your comfort zone. Learning is safe. You can't fail at watching a video. You can't lose money reading a book. You can't experience emotional pain taking a course. Learning protects you from the discomfort of actual trading. But growth happens outside your comfort zone. You only improve by doing the uncomfortable thing. Taking real trades, risking real money, facing real fear, experiencing real losses. This is where learning happens. Not in courses, not in books, in the arena. But the arena is scary, so you stay in the classroom. You keep learning, you keep preparing, you never actually fight, and you wonder why you're not progressing. The illusion of preparation. Here's what you tell yourself. I'm not ready yet. I need to learn more. Once I fully understand everything, then I'll start trading seriously. This is a lie you tell yourself to avoid discomfort. You'll never feel fully ready. There's always more to learn, always another indicator, always another strategy, always another concept. Waiting until you know everything is waiting forever. The truth? You learn more from 100 live trades than from 100 hours of courses. You learn more from 1 month of real trading than 1 year of study. Because real trading provides real feedback. real emotional challenges, real lessons. But you're avoiding real trading by staying in perpetual learning mode. And this keeps you stuck forever. What actual progress looks like. Let me show you what real learning and progress look like in trading. Month 1 to 3. Pick one simple strategy, just one. Learn it thoroughly. Backtest it on 100 historical trades. Understand it completely. Month 4 to 6. Trade it on demo. 200 trades minimum. Journal every trade. Review weekly. Identify your execution patterns. Month 7 to 9. Start trading it with real money. Tiny size. $10 risk per trade. Focus entirely on execution, not profit. Month 10 to 12. Continue trading. Same strategy. Gradually increase size as consistency improves. Journal obsessively. Review monthly. Year 2. Keep trading the same strategy. By now, you have 1,000+ trades with it. You know it intimately. You're probably consistently profitable. Now you can refine or expand. This is real progress. Notice what's not in this plan. Watching endless YouTube videos, taking multiple courses, learning 10 different strategies, switching approaches every month. Real progress is deep, not wide. It's mastery through repetition, not surface-level dabbling. But this requires patience. It requires commitment. It requires tolerating boredom. Most traders won't do this. They want variety. They want stimulation. They want to keep learning new things. So they never progress. The deliberate practice framework. Let me give you the actual framework for progressing in trading. First, choose one approach, not 3, 1. Commit to it for 1 year, minimum. Second, break it into components. Entry rules, exit rules, risk management, trade management, psychological protocols. Fourth, practice each component separately. Spend a week just marking entries on historical charts, a week calculating position sizes, a week identifying stop-loss levels. Fifth, combine components on demo. Trade your full system on demo for 100+ trades. Track everything. Sixth, review and adjust. Weekly reviews. What's working? What's not? What patterns do you see in your execution? Seventh, go live with minimum size. Now trade with real money, but absurdly small amounts. Your goal is perfect execution, not profit.
Seventh, scale gradually. Only increase size after demonstrating consistency over 50+ trades. This is deliberate practice. It's structured, it's focused, it's measurable, and it produces real progress. But it's work, real work, not the fake work of watching videos and calling it learning. The hard truth about mastery. Here's what you need to accept. Mastery takes time, lots of time. You're not going to be consistently profitable in 6 months, probably not in 1 year. Maybe in 2 years if you're focused and disciplined, maybe 3 or 4 years if you're average. This timeline is uncomfortable. You want faster results, so you try to speed it up by learning more. But learning more doesn't speed up mastery. Practice does. And practice takes time. You can't rush it. You can't shortcut it. You can't think your way to mastery. You have to grind your way there. One trade at a time, one lesson at a time, one failure at a time. Most traders can't accept this timeline, so they stay stuck in learning mode, consuming information, feeling productive, making zero progress. The pattern you need to break. Let me identify the exact pattern that's keeping you stuck. You learn something new, you get excited. This is it. This is what I've been missing. You try it for a few weeks, results are mediocre, you get discouraged. This doesn't work. I need something better. You abandon it and search for the next thing. You find something new, the cycle repeats. You've done this for 3 years. You'll do it for 3 more unless you break the pattern. Here's how to break it. Choose one approach today, commit to it for 1 year, no matter what. No switching, no adding complexity, no searching for something better. 1 year, minimum 500 trades. Then and only then can you evaluate whether it works. This commitment will feel impossible. Your brain will scream for variety. It will find reasons why you need to switch. Ignore it. Stay committed. This is how you finally make progress. The role of discomfort. Let me be clear about something. Real learning is uncomfortable. When you're truly learning, you're confused, you're making mistakes, you're failing, you're frustrated. This discomfort is the signal that you're actually learning. If your learning feels comfortable and pleasant, you're probably not learning. you're just consuming entertainment. The videos that teach you nothing feel great. The practice that teaches you everything feels terrible. Most traders choose comfort. They keep watching videos, they keep feeling good, they never progress. The traders who progress choose this comfort. They practice until they fail. They trade until they face their fears. They journal until they see their flaws. This discomfort is the price of growth, and most people aren't willing to pay it. The accountability factor. Here's another reason you're stuck. No accountability. You can tell yourself you're learning and improving. Nobody checks. Nobody verifies. Nobody challenges your narrative. So you drift, year after year, learning without progressing. You need accountability. A mentor who reviews your trades, a trading partner who tracks your metrics, a journal that forces honest self-assessment. Without accountability, you lie to yourself. You avoid hard truths. You stay comfortable in your learning bubble. With accountability, you face reality. You see your lack of progress. You're forced to change. The transformation required. Let me tell you what needs to change for you to finally progress. Stop consuming content. Stop learning new things. Take what you know right now and practice it relentlessly. Stop strategy hopping. Pick one approach and commit for 1 year minimum. Stop passive learning. Start active practice. Charts, demo trades, journals, reviews.
Stop avoiding discomfort. Embrace it. Seek it. That's where growth happens. Stop lying to yourself about progress. Track objective metrics. Are you profitable? If not, you haven't progressed. Stop preparing. Start performing. You learn more from 1 month of real trading than 1 year of study. These changes are hard. They require discipline. They require honesty. They require courage. Most traders won't make them. They'll keep learning forever. They'll never make progress. But you can be different. You can break the pattern. You can finally move forward. The choice is yours. The commitment. Here's what I'm asking you to do. Today, right now, pick one trading approach. Write it down. For the next 12 months, I will trade only this approach. Then stop learning. Seriously. No new courses, no new books, no new videos. Just practice. Demo trade your approach for 100 trades. Journal every one. Review weekly. Then go live with tiny size. Another 400 trades minimum. Journal every one. Review weekly. At the end of 12 months, you'll have 500 plus trades with one approach. You'll have real data, real experience, real skill. And you'll finally understand why you weren't progressing before, because you were learning everything and mastering nothing. Make this commitment. Break the learning loop. Start the practice loop. This is how you finally progress. The final truth. Let me end with the hardest truth. Your years of learning have been wasted, not because the information was bad, but because you never applied it systematically. You never practiced deliberately. You never committed deeply. You collected information, but never built skill. Knowledge without application is worthless, and you have lots of worthless knowledge. But here's the good news. You can change this today. Stop learning. Start practicing. The progress you've been seeking for years, it's waiting for you. Not in the next course, not in the next strategy, not in the next piece of information. It's waiting in repetition, in commitment, in practice, in the uncomfortable work you've been avoiding. Do that work. Make that commitment. And finally, after all these years, you'll see real progress.